Mercedes are giving it an absolute brilliant go here, they really have, but Ferrari have controlled this race from the front, and Carlos Sainz, who started on pole and didn't get the win in Monza, does it tonight in Singapore! Carlos Sainz wins the Singapore Grand Prix!
I race because it's in my blood. Hello, I'm Carlos Sainz, I'm 25 years old, I'm racing for McLaren, and I live in London. You never know you're going to be a Formula 1 driver until really the day that they send you a contract to sign. My self-belief tells me that I should be able to beat everyone. Last year was a lot of fun. I enjoyed being part of McLaren, being part of this amazing family. We built together a very strong race team, and the whole factory is now getting really fired up. I had a lot of fun with every single member of the team, and I think the results proves that. Lando is more constantly the meme lord, but I have some memes that really come out of nowhere and kick his ass a bit. I've always loved this sport. I've always followed Formula 1. Since the day I drove a Formula 1 car, I fell in love with it.
In Formula 1, every corner yanks a driver's head sideways with up to 5 times their body weight pressing down. For 2 hours straight, it's a constant fight between endurance and gravity. That's why F1 drivers spend entire off-seasons training their necks with resistance bands and specialized strength work. Carlos Sainz does this differently to most. In an interview, he admitted that he doesn't train his neck during the off-season at all. His plan is pretty simple. Show up to preseason testing, push through one painful day, and let the body adapt naturally. While Max Verstappen trains through December and Charles Leclerc grinds with his physiotherapist, Carlos, he trusts that his instincts will be enough. This approach reveals something about how Carlos sees his role in F1. Maybe Carlos Sainz has the weakest neck not because of his physical strength, but because his training choices reflect a deeper pattern throughout his entire career. The smooth operator who never made waves. Carlos Sainz Jr. entered F1 back in 2015 with everything lined up for success. He was the son of a rally legend, part of Red Bull's junior program, and a rookie teammate to Max Verstappen. From the very beginning, the spotlight never stayed with Carlos. When Red Bull promoted Verstappen in 2016, Sainz remained at Toro Rosso. At Renault, he stabilized the team. At McLaren, he helped rebuild, but Lando Norris became the face of the operation. Ferrari in 2021 looked like his breakthrough moment, but Charles Leclerc was clearly the chosen one from day one. Sainz, he won a race and he scored podiums, but he never shifted the team's dynamic in his favor. Then came the 2024 announcement. Lewis Hamilton would replace him. A 30-year-old in his prime was being swapped for a 40-year-old veteran. Ferrari's message was clear. Through it all, Sainz, he never made noise. No angry interviews, no drama, no frustration. He just smiled, and he thanked the team, and then he moved on. That calm attitude made him every team's principal's dream to work with. But in F1, drivers who never really rock the boat rarely steer it towards greatness. 10 seasons and 5 teams later, Carlos built a career defined by reliability rather than dominance. That pattern came into sharp focus during one weekend that was supposed to change everything. The moment that defined everything. Silverstone 2022. After 150 race starts, Carlos Sainz finally took pole position. It was meant to be his defining moment, but as the lights went out, he lost the lead to Max Verstappen. Carlos was running second when debris damaged Max's floor, bringing him back into contention. Ferrari held a 1-2, but Leclerc was faster on race pace. The team gave gave Sainz target lap times. When he couldn't maintain them, they told him to let Charles through. He obeyed without protest. Charles took the lead and looked set to win. Then, a late safety car changed everything. Ferrari pitted Sainz 4 fresh soft tires and left Leclerc on worn hards. And on the restart, Carlos had the tire advantage and reclaimed the lead for his first Formula One victory. A driver's first win should be transformational. Verstappen's 2016 win turned him into Red Bull's undisputed leader overnight. Sainz, well, his win, it didn't create that shift. He celebrated, then he went back to being Ferrari's number 2. The hierarchy remained exactly as it had been. And that acceptance, it revealed something deeper about how Carlos approaches the sport. The psychology of being too soft. When Ferrari told Sainz that he'd be replaced by Lewis Hamilton, his reaction was remarkably measured. He posted a gracious thank you, he told reporters that he understood, and called it an honor to race alongside Hamilton. It was perfect corporate PR, but it wasn't the response of someone who believes they should be the future world champion. If this happened to Fernando Alonso, he would have spent the season making Ferrari look foolish. If it happened to Max Verstappen, he would have turned every race into personal revenge. Carlos, he simply just accepted it. Deep down, he seemed to have accepted his role as the dependent professional rather than the driver that teams build around. And that brings us back to his neck training. Every other driver grinds through painful winter exercises that build muscle and mental endurance. Carlos, he skips that process, trusting his body to adapt quickly. It reflects a mindset that being good enough is sufficient rather than pushing for every possible advantage. Champions seek out discomfort because that's where improvement happens. Carlos avoids that extra suffering when nobody's watching. You can see the same mindset in how he drives when the moment calls for maximum aggression. On-track evidence of a weak neck. When you stop believing you're fighting for championships, then your race style changes. You play it safer, you defend less aggressively, and you hesitate when the moment requires total commitment. In Miami of 2024, Sainz went for a move on Oscar Piastri, but he braked too deep. The car snapped sideways, he made contact and earned a 5-second penalty. It wasn't ruthless precision, it was frustration from a driver forcing something that wasn't there. Contrast that with Verstappen in Brazil of 2021, fighting Hamilton with absolute commitment, making his car impossibly wide. On Leclerc, in Austria in 2019, defending against Max with everything he had, willing to risk contact because position mattered more than safety. Carlos, he can race at that level. The raw speed and the skills are there, but the instinct to push beyond comfort isn't his default setting. 4th place is safe, 3rd is respectable, and that mindset becomes a habit over time. His rivals sense this, and they know who will yield when stakes are at their highest. The greats force others to move. Carlos moves first to avoid conflict. That difference between comfort and greatness separates the good from the unforgettable. If you're loving exploring what defines Formula One's greatest drivers, then subscribe to The Last Lap. We tell the stories behind the speed and behind the drivers themselves. Hit that notification bell so that you never miss any of our deep dives and some of the content that we have coming up you are not going to want to miss. But right now, let's get back to the list. What this means for his future. For 2025, Carlos Sainz joined Williams, a team that hasn't won in over a decade, and he sits near the back of the grind. Realistically, it's a significant step backwards from winning races at Ferrari. What's most telling is that every top team passed on him. Mercedes chose 18-year-old rookie Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Red Bull, they never called. McLaren didn't pursue him. Aston Martin extended Fernando Alonso. Ferrari chose a 40-year-old Lewis Hamilton instead, and they picked Hamilton because even at 40 years old, Lewis, well, he trains like he's chasing for his first ever championship. His commitment to peak condition, both physical and mental, remains unbreakable. And Sainz, well, he will perform well at Williams relative to their level. He'll help develop the car and bring solid results in, but he won't redefine what the team is capable of. History will remember Carlos Sainz as talented and respected, but rarely feared when it truly mattered the most. And at the end of every career, success comes down to how much you're willing to endure in order to be great. Carlos Sainz's weak neck transformed from a training quirk into a symbol of his career choices. The sport demanded uncomfortable preparation and ruthless battles for status, but Carlos chose professionalism and acceptance. He has the raw skill to be a champion, but somewhere along his 10-year journey, he stopped believing that he would reach that level. In Formula One, success isn't measured by neck muscles alone, but by your willingness to fight for what you deserve when it would be easier to accept the loss. But that is it for this one, guys. Let us know, what do you think about his neck down in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more F1 content like this. And guys, I will catch you on the next one.